Hi, I'm Nancy, the Kentucky Garden Gal. I'm coming to you from South Central Kentucky. We are a Zone 7. I live in an 1880 Vote Victorian where I have been gardening for the last 27 years. My grandmother taught me the love of gardening. It's my passion and I want to share that with you. I have my small city lot absolutely packed full. Backyard chickens, trees, shrubs, perennials, a koi pond, even a secret garden. So let's get started on this week's vlog. Do you ever ask yourself, why do I garden? Why do I do all the work that's required for a garden? This is the reason right here. Look at these beautiful butterflies. Look at that. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening and I'm just going to take a walk around my garden and see all that I see. It's so alive. This is an apple tree that is just loaded, and when I see this apple tree, I am reminded of the dear friend who was going through her Master Gardener's class, and part of the program was to graft an apple tree. This is it. And this has been the best year, so I know that pretty soon I'll be able to get these apples and make apple butter. These are the Zinnia plants. These little annuals are so beautiful. This entire batch is one pack of seeds, maybe $1. And these are just getting started, but look how beautiful they are. They're all so different. But this is why we garden. This is why we do what we do. To see the beautiful flowers. Look at the cleome, or cleome, however you want to say it. Isn't this gorgeous? To come out and see this beauty in your backyard. This is a castor bean plant, and you do have to be careful because every part of this is poisonous, but it's getting ready to have a beautiful bloom, and I'll have this to look forward to, and right behind it is the rudbeckia and more zinnias. This is just the hardest working little plant in your garden, and they make the best bouquets. Hello girls, what are you doing? What are you doing? Do you enjoy the beautiful plants as much as I do? Somebody's getting their exercise. Isn't this a nice backyard to live in with all the bees and the butterflies and the birds? It's just kind of a cool place to hang out, isn't it? Look at this little zinnia. Isn't this pretty? And you know, the more you cut them, the more they grow. I'm telling you, this is an underappreciated flower for our gardens. When this beautiful hibiscus is in bloom, I have to remember that this plant has been here since before we bought our home, which was 31 years ago. Can you imagine a plant being 31, at least 31 years old, probably much longer? And it's just so beautiful. Plants also remind us of people. This beautiful oak leaf hydrangea, I got a start out of a friend's yard. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's huge, and I have given many pieces to other people so they can have this beautiful shrub in their garden. But when I look at my pass-along plants, I remember the person who gave them to me, and that really keeps their memory alive, which is a neat thing about a garden. It's full of memories. When your garden is alive with bees and birds and butterflies and dragonflies, it makes you feel really good because you're providing them a habitat. And as you can see, the butterflies are just everywhere. Between the rows of Sharons is an autumn clematis, and I got this start from my good friend Vicki Richter, and we've spent many hours in the garden together, working, learning, sharing. So this will soon be blooming in the next couple of months, and it will remind me of Vicki and the times that we spent together in our gardens. In the very front of my yard, I have crepe myrtles, the pretty red crepe myrtles. And I was in Springfield, Tennessee, and just happened to go along a street that had a beautiful home that had crepe myrtles planted in front, and that's where I got the idea. And as I was admiring the gardens, the gentleman who owned the house came out and said, "Would you like a garden tour?" And of course, I wanted a garden tour. And then when the garden tour was over, he said, "Would you like a tour of the inside?" And of course, I was delighted. And I have become friends. He has now moved to Mississippi, Natchez, Mississippi, and has a beautiful home there. But Jim Johnson, these crepe myrtles are because of you. You inspired me. This plant is called a night blooming Cirrus. And it's a really neat little plant. I bought it when I was on vacation in Fairhope, Alabama. And probably not this year, but next year it'll put out a beautiful bloom. So plants also remind you of places that you've been. Wonderful vacation memories. Plants also give us something to look forward to. This holiday cactus is putting on new growth. And I know that usually between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it will just be draped in beautiful blooms. In the summer, it doesn't look like too much, but I know what I have to look forward to. This beautiful little rose was delivered many years ago on my birthday from a dear friend. And every time it blooms, I think of Julie. When you give a plant, you give a lasting gift. Talk about a plant with a backstory. This little plant has one. I have it growing along the east side of my house. It's just beautiful. And where I got this is really a funny story. Many, many years ago, my former spouse and I, along with his mother, traveled to a little town in Tennessee to visit some relatives of hers. And this was growing along the side of their house. And my mother-in-law asked for a start of it, and the lady said no. So I thought that was just the end of this little plant. We get in the car, and I just happened to be sitting in the back seat next to my mother-in-law, Catherine. And when we get on the road, she has something in her hand in a paper towel. And she opens it up and she says, "Do you want a start of this? You want a piece of this?" That's right, folks. It's stolen. But here's the funny part. If I have given one start of this, I have given 500. This little stolen plant has been spread all over the place. And it just keeps on going. This is my view. Every time I walk into my back door, I'm just thankful because I see all of the beauty in these plants that come back every year. They rest in the winter, but they always come back, and in the spring we have something to look forward to. These little rudbeckias, they are just a tough little plant that can take the heat. And aren't they pretty? It's a great way to wake up in the morning, to walk out the back door, to see these beautiful plants, to see the butterflies, to hear the bees buzzing, the birds chirping, and all on such a little piece of land. But this is what you can do. So I encourage you to plant, to grow, open your yards to pollinators. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next week.